What's up, guys? Today I want to talk about a brand of horror with quite the reputation, and that's Japanese horror. Spooky atmosphere, disturbing concepts, and a lot of girls with really long hair. I'm going to go through some of my favorite Japanese horror movies, ranked in order of scariest, and the first movie on this list is a doozy to say the least. First is House, and honestly, my thoughts on this one are still in progress because I saw it so recently. And it's the kind of movie I gotta mention. House was created to be a summer hit like Jaws, which is hilarious. No, this isn't scary, but it's definitely horror, not only because of the violence, the setting, and the plot, but because of the kind of delirium that it gives you. When people say like, oh, this movie is weird, or it's like you're on acid, they generally throw out a movie with a lot of psychedelic colors and Dutch angles, which is fine. But no, House actually makes you feel like you're high in the moment. Inexplicable things happen, but they somehow make sense in this movie's universe. The characters are intentional tropes. Literally, one is named Mac because she eats everything. And both the acting and graphics look ridiculous. And yet I genuinely believe there's some inspiring filmmaking here. The background paintings are lovely. The mansion setting has plenty of personality. There's a cute sequence of POV shots, and that sentient black hair looks awesome. It's a movie bursting with ideas, some laughable, some not. It does take way too long to get to the mansion, and there are points where the mania is almost exhausting. Is it a great movie? I need to get back to you on that. But it is one of a kind. Next is Suicide Club. I'll be kind of brief with this one, as I basically have no footage and it's near impossible to find the thing. You would think that the movie would be more of a social commentary as a result, but it doesn't do that really. Maybe a little, but the plot takes this hard left turn when introducing a rock band at a bowling alley. It's a grungy, low-res movie, but I think this works in its favor. Like, it's a snuff film you found next to the tape from The Ring. The turns the plot takes won't satisfy some people, and there are even parts where I was even sure what was going on. But there's something so unsettling about how Suicide Club looks and sounds and how the violence is portrayed. It's a back alley kind of horror that resonated with me. Next is Dark Water. J-horror tends to focus on the paranormal, and specifically, the inherent tragedy of dealing with the deceased. And while I don't find its horror particularly scary aside from one very chilling shot, it merges well with the drama. They are peas in a pod, unable to function without the other. And the film is able to do this by getting so much use out of water as a concept. It's sad, it's disturbing, it's gross, and if you lived in downtown LA, it's familiar. Yeah, the mother's decisions got on my nerves, and the ending didn't hit me as emotionally as I wished it had. But that's outweighed by the cuteness factor of the daughter, seriously, she's like a Disney character, and the framing. I love how this movie is framed, and that great shot I mentioned earlier is a microcosm of everything good here. A perfect frame of two small feet leaking water with each step like it's blood. Just so good. Just a classy horror drama that's really well stitched together. Next is Cure. Yes, it's a horror movie, at least to me, not only because its concept of a man hypnotizing people to kill by proxy is scary, but how it's shown is downright mesmerizing in a horrific way. I've said this before, but Cure is still the best and most eerie depiction of hypnosis on screen. The methods are so simple, the villain so unassuming and nonchalant, and that's precisely why it works. The camera work is patient, the shots are elegantly set up, and the mood so calm yet unsettling that I found myself a bit hypnotized too. The cinematography is gorgeous throughout the film, using long takes and slow gliding movements that feel hypnotic, never breaking you away from the mood. The opening scene, the grotesque shot of a hospital gurney, the villain's mannerisms, it's all so damn engaging. I will say that the first half is creepier than the second, but it's a thrilling experience regardless. You're watching familiar things like crime scenes, hypnosis, and interrogation, but in an entirely new way. I love this one. Then we got Audition, essentially the Japanese Fatal Attraction, in that it taps into that very specific fear men have of new girlfriends who are secret psychos. But Audition goes well past cooking up some rabbit stew. The plot is an ever-tightening line of tension as we become increasingly worried for our protagonist. Normally, the film would drip feed you with little tidbits of how crazy the new girlfriend is, but I think this way works beautifully. See, she's set up as this soft-spoken, shy, and poetic young woman who enraptures the main character. And then, not too long later, we see her hunched over, watching the phone, waiting for his call. It's such a gut punch, and for the rest of the film, we're praying that our emotionally vulnerable protagonist will learn the truth. And again, Audition doesn't go down the normal path like many thrillers, but instead decides to get trippy. There's an extended dream sequence that not only matches the disorientation of an actual dream, but contains unforgettable, terrifying visuals. The terror just builds and builds, and you almost feel frantic, and then the last 15 minutes is just torture. Oh, it's a fitting end to the movie. It doesn't come across as random or exploitative. It's well shot and acted, but it is tough to watch. Unlike some funny games I could mention, the plot doesn't feel like drawn-out misery for misery's sake, but as a gradual turning of a knob. And then at the end, it just cranks to 11. Next is Ringu. I'm not sure what else I can really add to Ringu, so I'll just stick with 3 quick things. 1, yes, I think it holds up and it's still spooky, although not as aggressively as the remake. 2, I love them both, but I think the haunted video in this version is better because it looks and sounds more bootleg. And 3, Ringu is beautifully shot, from close-ups to mediums, profiles, and others, and it doesn't get enough credit for that. Good looking film. Next is Perfect Blue. There's a knee-jerk reaction when I talk about Perfect Blue as being scary because it's animated. But while I do think it would function as live action, hell, it's basically Black Swan, the quick cuts and transitions used in the editing just work so much better in animation. And while the same can be said about other Satoshi Kon movies like Paprika, in Perfect Blue, this kind of editing is engineered to make you feel like you're losing your mind. The violence is visceral. I mean, it hurts to watch in places. The stalker character is scary as hell, and the shot of him holding his crush in his palm will haunt me forever. However, it's the music that got the terror tingles from me. Perfect Blue has one of the best horror scores ever. Whether it's hyper intense, bright and poppy, or dark and ambient, each track brings so much emotion into every scene. The track Virtual Mima is the highlight, with its groans and clangs that pairs perfectly with the editing to, again, make you feel like you're going insane. It's scary, the climax is a nightmare, it's an unrelenting experience, and I think it's brilliant. Next is Ju-on the Grudge. I've been talking about the different sensations these movies give you, as J-horror is very moody in general. Oh, they don't want to just scare you, they want to haunt you. They want you to remember it. House is an LSD trip. Cure is deranged hypnosis. Perfect Blue is a tumble down the rabbit hole. Ju-on the Grudge is like when you wake up from a nap that was 4 hours longer than it was supposed to be. You wander around, understanding where you are, and yet everything is unfamiliar. You're rattled, vulnerable, and start wondering about that shadow in the corner. That is how this movie feels, and that comes from basically every level of it. The iconic house and how many points of view and angles it provides, the plot that bounces through time, the unsettling music, the croaking sound that's like Billie Eilish's No Time to Die theme but pitched down. I don't know if each of these was intended to create this dreamlike effect, but they certainly did for me. A dead girl haunting a house is scary enough, but when she looks as lost and surprised as the victims, that brings a whole new level to the horror. It's a cliche phrase, but Ju-on just hits different. I wanted to quickly address some movies that aren't here. Some because I don't consider them horror, like Battle Royale or Godzilla. Others because I just don't think they're as good as the ones on this list, like Reincarnation or One Missed Call. Noroi the Curse, likely winner of the most mentioned movie in my comments section, has some great scenes, it really does, but it's too long and lacking in scares, and even for found footage just looks bad. Solid movie overall, really, it's just not quite there for me. Still, throw me some recommendations in the comments for others I've missed, and toss me a subscribe as well, it means a lot. And last up is Kairo, also known as Pulse, from 2001. So far, it is the Japanese horror film that scared me the most, as well as being my favorite tech horror film in general. I also see how it wouldn't work for everybody. When people say something is slow, it's usually a dig, like it was unintentional by the filmmakers. But Kairo's languid pace is perfect for it. Mixing the paranormal and technology is something we've seen before to usually middling results. And I think the reason it doesn't work that well is because other films try to be snappy, like, yeah, try to aim for a younger audience. Fast isn't what makes the internet scary. It's the slow descent into content that you sort of stumble into and wish you never saw. It's the creepypastas, the dark webs, and red rooms. With its tech, Kairo gives us videos of people sitting in darkness, of a man slowly glitching in a loop, and the camera lingers so we have time to examine. And with its ghosts, Kairo matches the pace. The ghosts are slow and patient. At times they are mere background silhouettes, and when you study the frame, you're not sure which are people and which are spirits. This makes them less things to escape, but more an overwhelming presence. And avoiding them is like outrunning air. So basically what I'm saying is that this combination is not only fitting, but it creeped me the hell out. Plus, some of the nighttime shots look fantastic, the hallway sequence is still terrifying, and the ambient sound and lighting is so moody, it's almost enough to make you forget the bad special effects in the finale. I think Perfect Blue and Cure are better, but no other horror movie from Japan has scared me quite like this one. Those are my favorite Japanese horror movies. Obviously, I have not seen every J-horror film ever made, so please comment below with any that are super scary or super good. I've got more horror videos in my playlists, and if you want to support the channel, please check out the Patreon link below for some fun rewards. You guys are the best, and as always, thanks for watching.